Monsoon is very significant as far as Indian subcontinent is concerned because basically India is hovering on agriculture for its income, and monsoon takes a very important role or a pivotal role in the agricultural practices of India. Understanding the monsoon and its variability is a significant feature, and understanding the monsoonal variability and its relationship with global climate during Neogene is being studied in this institute. A group of scientists are working on it, namely Dr. Sajid Ali, Dr. Muhammad Arif, Dr. Vinita Farthial, Dr. Prasanna, and Dr. Vivi Kapoor, along with Dr. Anusuya Bhandari, myself, and Dr. Arindam Chakraborty. All these scientists are working on different biotic as well as abiotic processes. Now, I would like to give you a brief outline about the climatic variability and monsoonal intensity. Basically, the term monsoon was derived from the Arabic word mausin or from the Malayalam word mausin, that means season. There is a classical theory by Sir Edmund Halley's which says in the summer the sun's apparent path is vertically over the Tropic of Cancer, and that results in high temperature and low pressure in Central Asia. And this pressure is sufficiently high over Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal, and as a matter of fact the wind flowed from the oceans flow towards the landmass in summer, and this air flow from sea to land bring heavy rainfall in the Indian subcontinent because that carries ample amount of moisture. However, the modern theory says, that is known as air mass theory, and according to this theory, monsoon is simply a modification of the planetary winds of the tropics. And this theory is based on the migration of ITCZ based on seasons. So the ITCZ is also known as Intertropical Convergence Zone. The southeast trade winds in the southern hemisphere and the northeast trade winds in the northern hemisphere meet each other near the equator. And this meeting point of these winds is known as the Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITCZ. And this is the region of ascending air, maximum clouds, and heavy rainfall. And the location of ITCZ shifts north and south of the equator with the change of the season. In the summer season, the sun shines vertically over the Tropic of Cancer and the ITCZ shifts northwards. You can see in the figures the explanations which are given. Now coming to the advent of strong Asian monsoon, which originated around 20 million years ago. And the monsoon circulation in deep time has been inferred from variation in stable isotopes of tooth enamel, diatom blooms, fossil evidences, and dust influx in the Indian Ocean, and the advent of C4 grasses in the terrestrial realm. And these proxies are compromised by temperature, biotic, and source effects. And this is the region where some of the work has been carried out, that is in the Andaman and Nicobar region, and it is shown in the map itself, and which is demarcated by a square box. So there are certain questions which we try to answer. Was the Indian summer monsoon intensified during the Miocene to Pliocene? Whether the microfossil preserved in the sediments can provide a clue or any clue at all, and how the siliceous microfossils, specifically the diatoms, can answer some of the questions regarding monsoonal variation. You can see here that what is the intensified zone expansion of OMZ, that means oxygen minimum zone, that was much more preponderant during upper Miocene
to Pliocene, and in the Pleistocene again it diminished. So what we have tried some data sets to generate some data sets from the Miocene as well as from the Pliocene sediments of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. You can see here some of the outcrops where the work has been carried out, that is in the Havelock Island, in the Neil Island, as well as in the Car Nicobar Island. These are the records of diatoms from the Middle Miocene, that is from Bardigalian of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and we have recorded the Miocene climatic optimum in the Northeast Indian Ocean, and that is evidenced by the microfossil assemblages. Now coming to the late Miocene we have interpreted that that was intensified monsoonal activity during the late Miocene, specifically in the Tortonian. And the significant species are Thalassionema nischioides, Actinopithecus cinereis, and Coscinodiscus marginatus. These species are apoiling species and apoiling species of diatoms, and they indicate high primary productivity as well as ocean apoiling and monsoonal intensity. And this is the interpretation we have drawn from the study of microfossils, specifically the diatoms. These are the diatom. This is the diatom assemblages which has been recovered from. In the early Pliocene, again the biogenic bloom was diminished or less intensified, and during the early Pliocene, again the siliceous microfossils became much more reduced in comparison to the late Miocene. We have the diatom assemblages, we have the radioradian assemblages that clearly indicates that at that time warm temperature prevailed, and we have dated these sediments based on calcareous nanofossils, which are considered as important microfossil for the zonation of the sedimentary sequence. Here it is an outline of the work that has been carried out. That initiation of ISM took place around 20 million years ago. Intensification of monsoon most probably started around 23 million years ago. Based on multiple microfossil analysis, it has been revealed that around 16.4 to 15 million years, low primary productivity and weak monsoon prevailed. And the diatom assemblages provide strong evidence of ocean upwelling around 7 million years ago. And the biogenic bloom remarkably reduced at 5 million years ago, and that indicates low primary production and weak monsoonal activity. And this is a group of workers working with me, Dr. Arindam Chakraborty. He is working as an research associate, Miss Ricky De, Miss Tuti Saxena, and Miss Lopamudra Roy. All of them are working on different aspects of microfossils from different outcrops of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and also from the sedimentary cores of Andaman and Nicobar Island. Thank you.